What's up, everybody? Doing weekly analysis. In case you're wondering, this is the best beer. Best beer right here. Best beer. Just kidding, it's just root beer, guys. Anyways, I want to give out my weekly analysis here. So, top into it. Advance. What's advance? Portion of screen content. Oh, that's cool. I can play with that later. I want to read up on some things here so you guys get a little, how do I want to say this? A little bit of my method on how I do weekly analysis and how I trade the markets for the upcoming week here and for the closing of the weekly candle. And so what to expect? The dollar is still on a massive movement going back up. And so reading this article is very important. And you can see what are some key things that they talked about. Like Kathy Lynch talks a lot of great things. So she's talking about the GDP was a good one for the dollar, really strong. Okay. You can see that what she talked about is that the greenback climbed to 13-month high against the Japanese yen. Okay. And versus the Swiss franc, Euro, New Zealand, and Australia. So sterling, if you don't know sterling, sterling is the nickname for the pound there. And you can see that the market's focus on the direction of U.S. monetary policy is one thing that could change in October. So, like I said, we're coming into the month of October, fourth quarter. Got to be prepared. What do you plan on doing for the fourth quarter? You can see some highlights here. They might do an interest rate, but they're not for sure yet. So we'll see what's being priced in for that one. And hang on, my kids are going nuts. All right, where were we? So anyways, and you can see that this second paragraph talks about the biggest problem for Euro is Italy. So you gotta be prepared. Italy wants to do their thing too. Remember, it's not the UK trying to leave EU. EU is the European Union. So there's a lot of other countries that wants to leave once the UK makes a deal. So wouldn't be surprised if there is no euro. That's just something for the future, just to reference off what's happening now and what could happen 10, 20 years later, okay, for the currencies. Next week, she talks about that the British pound, because there's Tory party conference that ends with a speech by Prime Minister May in the middle of the week. So this is another pretty important topic and an event that's happening on Wednesday for this week. Those of you who are trading the pound, the pound will probably be the most volatile pair during that day. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's during the overlap of London and New York. Let's see, what else? Canada. Those that did not see the sell-off for USD CAD lost a lot of money. And we can see that USD CAD took a major dive going down. And so if you bought USD CAD, you just got to be careful, because Canada is facing some major trade issues with US, and Mexico is tied with them. So if you trade USD Mexican and USD CAD, man, it's crazy what's going on with those two pairs right now. Let's check it out. You can see that they have a very, very very strong correlation. So USD Mexican went down, and then USD CAD also took a dive going down. And so it's because that those two are tied into the NAFTA, what is it? The North American Free Trade Association, whatever it is. So it's very important where things are going for these two pairs. And it all falls back, if you read this, that however, instead of falling, right, the loony soared on Friday as investors looked past the trade, disappointed to the prospect of a rate hike from BOC Bank of Canada this month. And so the Canadian dollar and the peso gained value against the US dollar. So it's very important to see where these two pairs are going. Another insight, like I said, where the dollar is being projected for this week. Like I said, if we're buying the dollar, the only pair I would be very careful on buying with the US dollar is, well, there's a couple pairs, but I don't trade the exotic. So the only USD pair that I really would not buy would be USD CAD. You can see the USD CAD is on a major bearish start here. You can see USD Swiss franc on a major bull spike going on. This is a pretty strong bullish engulfing candle on the weekly here for USD Swiss franc. So you can see where the USD Swiss franc is headed. You can see where USD JPY is headed. And that is pretty strong on this engulfing candle here to beat the structure here, okay? And like I said, once USD JPY breaks above 114, then we are looking, well, I would be looking, oh wait, I need to stop saying we. I would be looking for 118. Once it clears above all this structure. The next weekly candle, if not, maybe the following month. Never know, right? So this direction is really stable right now. Now, if you're looking at GBP JPY and Euro JPY, they're really not moving a whole lot because everything falls back to what? The pound. You can see the pound diving back down, and you can see Euro diving back down. This is a clear resistance price right here. It cannot clear above 118, and it's looking to test even further going down. I wouldn't be surprised if it does come down to 112 by the end of this month, or even sooner. And if not, then probably come down to 109 by next year. And like I said, if the dollar is being projected to be a buy, you have to be very careful, you know, where these trades going, where these pairs going for the next six to 9 months. You know, and that's very important. So if you're projecting the trend for that long, then you should already know that if you see this setup already and you see the trend, you see the structure, don't get too confused where it's going long term. Okay, so we only have 3 months left of this year. We have the month of October, we have like November and December. Wherever this last quarter is gonna go, it's gonna dictate for the next year. Everything's gonna shift, so we gotta be prepared for that. What else? Gold did a major rally, going back to 1191. I know it went all the way down to 1180. Went all the way down to 1180 here on Thursday, and came back to 1190 on a Friday. What I'm looking for is to come back even lower, and basically would be to come down to test 1130 here on the weekly. So, or it can just consolidate again, and that's what it looks like right now. It looks like it's just going to consolidate right around this price here, 1200, 1190, maybe back to 1180. So that's like a $20 price gap. Let's see what else. Oh, like I said, the reason why I say consolidation is because the past few candles hasn't created another trend, and it's just sitting here. So your previous candle structures are just sitting here. So, and not a whole lot of movement to say, oh, we're going to follow a trend, because the trend started back here in April all the way down to August. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of this trend, and then now this trend is just in the zone here. So it gets tricky, because then you're basically looking for another breakout again to create the trend again. So it's something to be like I said, I wouldn't be paying too much attention to gold unless like you're really like scalping day in and day out for gold. I know the spreads are high, but you can still scalp gold. Well, you know, a couple hours there and a couple hours later. Let's see. I don't want to talk too much for this in weekly analysis. Like I said, if we are prepared, like I said, if I'm prepared, if I am prepared to buy the dollar for this whole week, and then we have non-farm payroll. So if you remember, non-farm payroll was positive last month, and how I do is that if it was positive next month, then I would just sell it next month because there's a pattern structure on that one. But we'll see how it goes. And like I said, probably buy the dollar for the whole week and then sell for NFP. That would be my full line of expectations. And based on this weekly chart, like I said, I expect it to the bull to run, you know, this bull candle runs to 96 and see where it goes from there. So like I said, I don't really expect for it to come back to 97 that quick unless something really major happens this week with the political events with US. I'm not talking about non-farm payroll. I'm talking about like whatever happens on Monday and then whatever happens on New York sessions for each political event coming from Trump, the US administration, all that stuff. So even trade wars too. So we gotta be prepared for that. But other than that, that's it. That's all I got for your weekly analysis. I hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday. I hope the Packers win. That's it, man.